Beloved soul, let me begin with a truth that may stir something ancient within you. As you walk the inner corridors of your heart, there is a door you rarely open. Behind it lies not your ambitions, not your regrets, but a presence quiet, steady, and often misunderstood. It is the echo of the first figure who showed you what strength meant, what protection felt like, what love looked like when it wore the mask of power. This is the hidden chamber of your connection with your Father. Some of you approach it with warmth, remembering hands that guided you, eyes that believed in you, a voice that said, "You can." Others approach it with hesitation, for within that chamber live unanswered questions, unmet needs, the silence of someone who didn't know how to say, "I'm proud of you." And for many, it is both. A room of light and shadow, tenderness and ache, presence and absence. No matter how far you've walked, no matter how many years have passed, your Father's vibration still hums softly in the background of your life. It whispers through the choices you make, the risks you take, the way you see yourself when you stand before the world. For the Father is not just a man in your story, he is an archetype written into your soul. Beloved one, hear this. Your healing cannot be complete until you understand the sacred truth of your Father's role in your journey. He was never random. Whether gentle or distant, strong or silent, loving or lost, he was a chosen instrument of the Divine Father, sent to awaken within you the lesson your soul needed most. You may have spent years wondering, why was he like this? Why couldn't he be what I needed? But perhaps the real question is, what truth was he sent to show me? For every father, present or absent, kind or cold, carries a message, sometimes spoken in words, sometimes carved in silence. Before we walk deeper into this sacred terrain, I want you to pause. Place your hand over your heart. Take a slow breath in and exhale softly. If you feel ready to open this door to invite Yogananda's wisdom into your healing, type these words in the comments right now. Yogananda, guide my healing. By writing it, you're not typing empty words. You're declaring to the universe that you are ready, ready to see differently, ready to forgive deeply, ready to meet not just the man who raised you, but the eternal presence behind him. Because behind every earthly father stands the Divine Father, the one who shaped your soul before your first breath, the one who whispers courage when you falter, the one who says, "You are not forgotten, you are my child, and I have walked beside you from the beginning." Now, beloved soul, let us walk together into this chamber. Let us uncover the truth about your Father, the truth that does not wound, but frees, that does not condemn, but clarifies, that does not reopen old scars, but transforms them into doors of light. Let us begin. Beloved one, to understand your Father is to walk through a sacred paradox. Whether his hands were open in guidance or closed in silence, whether his presence was a fortress or a shadow, his role was never by chance. Through the lens of Yogananda's wisdom, the bond between you and your Father was not merely biological, it was karmic, written in divine ink long before you entered this life. Your soul did not stumble into his orbit. You chose him, and he chose you, guided by a higher law that arranges each relationship as part of your awakening. He came carrying a lesson, not always one wrapped in tenderness, but one wrapped in truth. The Father, in his highest essence, reflects the aspect of the divine that governs direction, order, and will. The Father is the mirror of the cosmic Father, the force that says, "Rise, my child, stand tall, walk in truth, build what you were sent to build." For some, this mirror shone clearly, a Father whose strength offered safety, whose discipline taught integrity, whose eyes said, "You are capable." For others, the mirror was fogged with pain, a Father who was distant, critical, absent, or broken by his own burdens. Yet even then, the lesson was there. For in absence, the soul learns to source strength from within. In silence, it learns to hear the inner voice of spirit. In rejection, it learns the unshakable love of the eternal Father who never turns away. You see, beloved, your Father was not the author of your destiny. He was the instrument through which the Divine Father wrote the first lines of your earthly story. His actions, his flaws, his triumphs, his silence, all were part of a curriculum designed to awaken you to your own divine authority. This is the secret few ever grasp. Your Father's presence was a teaching. His absence was also a teaching. Both are threads in the same tapestry. Both were necessary to shape the will of your soul, to carve out the exact contours of courage, humility, forgiveness, and discernment you would need to fulfill your higher purpose. So release the question, why did this happen to me, and replace it with what was this sent to awaken in me. This is the turning point. This is where pain becomes power, and confusion becomes clarity. For the hand of destiny does not strike, it sculpts, and what feels like a wound is often the chisel that reveals the strength beneath. You have not been punished, beloved, you have been prepared. Your Father was not a test you failed. He was a mirror you were meant to see yourself through. His love, or his lack of it, was never the measure of your worth. It was the material from which your soul would learn the language of divine strength. And so, as we move forward, hold this truth close to your heart. Nothing in your relationship with your Father was random. It was all curriculum, sacred, tailored, intentional. Let this be your foundation as we now step deeper into understanding how his energy, his choices, and even his silence have shaped not only your story, but the path your soul is walking toward freedom. Before you ever took your first breath, before you opened your eyes to this world of contrast and color, your soul stood in the luminous halls of divine design. There, surrounded by the radiance of higher beings, you were shown the outline of your next earthly journey. You were asked not what would make you most comfortable, but what would make you most complete. And so, with clear sight and willing heart, you chose the lessons that would refine your strength, your dignity, your boundaries, and your spiritual authority. It was then that your Father's soul stepped forward, not as an accident, not as a punishment, but as a companion in purpose. The bond between you was sealed long before the veil of forgetfulness descended. You were not sent into his life as a victim, nor was he placed in yours by chance. Together you signed a sacred contract that through his example, whether steady or broken, nurturing or stern, you would remember the power that lies within you. For the Father's energy on the soul level is not simply about protection or provision. It is the vibrational imprint of structure, order, and spiritual authority. Through him, you were meant to encounter the laws of cause and effect, of discipline and discernment. Sometimes those laws came cloaked in love, teaching you trust and direction. Other times, they came veiled in hardness or distance, urging you to build inner boundaries, to learn self-respect, to awaken the divine Father within your own heart. If your father carried wounds, and many do, they were not random. The wounded masculine, the man who cannot express tenderness or stand fully in presence, is himself the bearer of an old pattern, longing to be healed. When you encountered that wound, it was not to inherit it, but to transmute it. You became the mirror in which that wounded energy could be seen, understood, and finally released. In this way, your relationship became not only personal, but planetary, a small reflection of the collective healing of the divine masculine that all souls are here to participate in. Think of it like a tapestry stretched across lifetimes. From the front, you see beauty and pattern, the graceful arcs of destiny. But turn it over, and you'll find knots, tight, tangled threads where pain and misunderstanding once lived. These knots are the moments of tension with your Father. The harsh word, the unmet need, the silence that cut deeper than sound, and yet without those knots, the pattern would not hold. Each twist, each tightening of thread, anchors the design, gives it texture, depth, and endurance. Your soul did not come to avoid these knots, it came to weave through them. Each one you understand, forgive and integrate, becomes part of the larger picture, proof that pain, when seen through the eyes of spirit, is not chaos but craftsmanship. The backstitch that looks messy from one side is the very thing that secures the masterpiece from the other. So, beloved, when you look back on your Father and see the imperfections, the absences, the anger, or even the love that was too conditional, do not despair. You are not tracing a random trail of sorrow, you are studying the divine embroidery of your own becoming. He was not sent to complete you, but to catalyze you, not to hand you all the answers, but to provoke the questions that would lead you inward, to the place where true authority lives. For every moment you long for his strength, you were being invited to discover your own. For every boundary he could not hold, you were called to learn the sacred no. For every absence, a space open where divine presence could enter. This is the hidden curriculum of the Father, the alchemy of love and shadow that awakens the soul to its own sovereignty. And now, as we walk deeper into this truth, hold this image in your mind. A tapestry, threads of gold and gray intertwined, stretching across lifetimes. You and your Father, two souls weaving lessons through light and shadow, each knot becoming part of a greater beauty only heaven fully sees. Let us now turn the fabric once more and examine how these early imprints, the threads of strength and silence, continue to shape your beliefs about power, love, and trust in the divine order of life. When you were small, before you could reason, before you could choose, your Father's energy carved silent impressions into the soft clay of your subconscious. His voice, whether firm or gentle, became the vibration your nervous system learned to call authority. His gaze, whether warm or distant, taught you what it meant to be seen or overlooked. His praise formed the foundation of your self-belief. His criticism, the cracks you'd later try to fill. And if he was absent, his silence spoke its own language, teaching you to search, to strive, to earn the love that should have been effortless. The subconscious does not argue. It does not analyze. It records. Every word, every look, every sigh. It takes snapshots of moments too small for memory, but powerful enough to shape destiny. The child absorbs not only what the Father says, but what he does not say, the tone that ends a conversation, the the eyes that turn away, the door that closes just before comfort arrives. And from these early lessons, the soul fashions its map of how love, power, and belonging must work in this world. If your father met your eyes with warmth, your body learned, I am safe when seen. If he flinched, frowned, or withdrew, you may have learned, visibility is danger. Better to stay small. If his approval came through achievement, you may now find yourself overworking, chasing a nod that never comes. If his love felt conditional, you may carry the reflex to please, to bend, to accommodate, to silence your own needs, so no one ever turns away again. Some, raised under a father's shadow of anger, grow a shell of their own, rage armor, forged to keep hurt at bay. Others, longing for harmony, avoid conflict at all costs, mistaking silence for peace. Still others become rescuers, caretakers, fixers, trying endlessly to heal what was broken in him, hoping that one day it might heal something inside themselves. These patterns are not flaws. They are echoes, vibrations from a time when you were too young to know you had choices. But awareness, beloved, is the first doorway to freedom. When you see the pattern, you can rewrite it. When you name the wound, you disarm it. The father's imprint may live in the body, in the reflex, in the quiet beliefs that whisper, I must earn love, I must stay strong, I must never fail. But once brought to light, these whispers can be replaced with truth. I am already loved. I am guided by a greater Father. I am safe to rest, to speak, to be. Let us pause now for a moment, a sacred reflection. Close your eyes if you can. Breathe deeply, place your hand upon your chest, and gently ask yourself these questions, softly, honestly, without judgment. When I think of authority, what face appears? How did my father's words shape the way I speak to myself? What did I learn from his praise? What did I learn from his silence? When I succeed, whose approval am I still seeking? When I make a mistake, whose voice do I hear in my mind? Let each question ripple through you like a pebble dropped into still water. Do not rush to answer. Feel the subtle movement, the stirring beneath the surface. For the subconscious, long silent, begins to awaken when you bring curiosity instead of blame. These reflections are not meant to accuse your father, but to reveal how deeply his energy lives within you. Because healing is not about erasing the imprint, it is about transforming it. The same vibration that once limited you can become the rhythm that liberates you when touched by awareness and grace. You are not the child reacting anymore, you are the soul observing. You are the witness, the alchemist, the one who can take the tone, the gaze, the absence, and turn them into wisdom. The one who can bless the pattern and say, thank you for teaching me who I am not. Now I remember who I am. And so, beloved, as we journey forward, hold this truth. The subconscious imprint of your father is not a prison, but a portal, a doorway through which you can pass from repetition into revelation. And on the other side of that doorway waits the Divine Father himself, ready to show you what true authority feels like, calm, loving, unwavering. Deep within you, beloved soul, beyond the layers of role and reason, live two sacred presences who have always walked with you, the inner child and the inner father. The child is tender, curious, open, a being of pure trust, still longing to feel safe, still seeking a voice that says, you are protected, you are enough. The inner father is meant to be that voice, the guardian, the guide, the true speaker who stands firm when storms arise. Yet for many, this inner father is still wounded, echoing the same patterns of the man who came before him. Critical instead of kind, distant instead of present, volatile instead of steady. You see, when your earthly father faltered, the part of you designed to carry his energy often froze in that same moment. If your father was harsh, your inner father may have become harsh too, judging you in his voice, pushing you with his expectations. If your father was absent, your inner father may have gone missing as well, leaving the child within to wander without guidance. If your father was unpredictable, your inner father may live in tension, never fully resting, always on guard. But beloved, you are not bound to that inheritance. The inner father is not a fixed sculpture carved in childhood. He is a living energy, capable of growth, healing, and transformation. You are now the craftsman. You can reforge his voice, reshape his posture, reawaken his love. You can teach him how to stand not as a critic, but as a protector, not as a judge, but as a provider of safety and truth. Let us pause now together for a sacred minute, a micro-visualization to awaken this truth within you. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Feel the ground beneath you, steady, faithful. Let it remind you of the strength that has always held you, even when you could not see it. Now, in your mind's eye, picture yourself standing in a soft light. Before you, see a small figure begin to emerge. Your inner child, they are perhaps 5, 6, or 7 years old. Look closely. See their eyes, wide with hope and memory. See how they look at you, with recognition, with longing, with the silent question, will you stay? Kneel down beside them. Let your gaze meet theirs. Whisper softly, and I see you. I know you have been waiting. You will never walk alone again. Now, as you hold this child's hand, feel a presence rising behind you, a tall, steady figure, luminous and strong. This is your inner father, not the wounded echo of the past, but the healed guardian you are calling forth. His eyes are calm, his shoulders broad with purpose, his voice like thunder softened by love. He steps closer, and you feel a warmth spread through your spine, a sense of alignment, of being backed by something eternal. Let him speak now through your own breath. Hear him say to the child within, I am here. I will protect you. I will tell you the truth. I will never abandon you again. Feel those words settle into your body, like anchors of light sinking deep into the sea of your soul. Stay here a moment. Let the three of you, the child, the father, and the self that holds them both, breathe together. With each inhale, draw strength from the divine Father above. With each exhale, let old fear and loneliness melt away. Understand this, beloved. Healing the father wound is not about changing the man who raised you. It is about raising within yourself the father you always needed. The one who is honest but never cruel, strong but never cold, protective yet free of control. When this inner father awakens, the inner child finally rests, the endless striving quiets, the doubt softens, and you walk through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that no matter what happens outside you, a steady presence lives within, watchful, faithful, and endlessly loving.
Get that.
This is the new pattern you are weaving now, not reaction, but restoration, not inheritance, but initiation. You are not merely the child of your father. You are the child of the divine, learning now to father yourself in truth. And as this inner father rises, so too will your life, each step firmer, each choice clearer, each breath a declaration, I am safe, I am guided, I am home. Forgiveness, beloved soul, is one of the highest and most misunderstood forms of spiritual power. It is not a soft forgetting, not a forced smile over an unhealed wound. It is not pretending it didn't happen, nor is it an invitation to return to what once broke you. True forgiveness is clarity, not confusion. It is strength, not surrender. It is the decision again and again to release the karmic knot that binds you to pain, without erasing the lessons it carved into your soul. To forgive your father does not mean you approve of his actions. It does not mean you deny the ache that shaped you, or that you must reopen the door for the same patterns to repeat. Forgiveness is not amnesia. It is alchemy. It is the art of transforming bitterness into wisdom, resentment into release. It is standing before the memory and saying, you no longer own me. You taught me what I needed to learn, and now I walk free. Some souls hesitate here, fearing that forgiveness will weaken their boundaries, that letting go means letting harm return. But the opposite is true. Real forgiveness is born from inner authority. It is the mark of one who knows their worth, who no longer needs to carry the weight of anger as proof of pain. You can honor your experience and still free yourself from its gravity. You can love from afar. You can bless without re-entering the storm. This is what Yogananda called compassionate distance, the balance between open heart and clear boundary. It is the awareness that says, I see your soul, but I also see your wounds. I wish you healing, but I choose peace. It is the understanding that unconditional love does not mean unconditional access. The Divine Father himself, though infinitely compassionate, does not force his presence upon those who reject his law. In his wisdom, he allows space, room for growth, room for awakening. So too must you. Some fathers may never change in the form you wish. Some may not awaken in this lifetime, and yet your freedom does not depend on theirs. You can honor the role they played, acknowledge the pain they caused, and still choose to close that chapter with dignity. In doing so, you do not sever love. You release attachment. You do not erase the past. You free your future. Take a moment now, beloved. Close your eyes. Bring to mind the image of your father, whether young or old, gentle or stern, present or distant. See him not as an idol, nor as an enemy, but as a soul, complex, imperfect, walking his own path through light and shadow. Breathe in deeply, and let this prayer rise softly from your heart. Divine Father, source of all strength and wisdom, I place this bond in your hands now. I release the anger that has weighed me down, the sorrow that has shaped my silence, the longing that has lingered unfulfilled. Bless my Father with the light of understanding. Bless me with the grace of release. Let only truth remain between us. No bitterness, no blame, only the quiet knowing that every thread of pain has led me closer to you. I forgive, not to forget, but to be free. I forgive, and I rise. Stay with this vibration for a few breaths. Feel the heaviness begin to lift, like chains slipping from your shoulders. Forgiveness does not erase the story, it rewrites its meaning. The wound becomes a teacher, the absence a sacred pause, the harsh word a mirror reflecting where gentleness must now live. You may find, as days pass, that small waves of memory return. Let them. Forgiveness is not one act, but a rhythm, a steady letting go, again and again, until peace becomes your natural state. Each release is a thread loosened from the old knot, and soon, where pain once tightened, light will flow freely. And as that light expands, you'll begin to see your Father, not only as the man who failed or loved imperfectly, but as a messenger of the Divine Father himself, sent not to perfect your childhood, but to awaken your soul. Forgiveness, beloved, is how you say to heaven, I have learned, I understand, I am ready to move on. Now, beloved soul, we turn our gaze upward, toward the highest truth of all, the presence of the Divine Father. Beyond every human image, beyond the face of your earthly parent, whether loving or absent, there lives a cosmic current, a stream of consciousness that embodies strength, clarity, justice, and unwavering love. This is not the stern ruler of superstition, nor the distant deity of old dogma. This is the inner flame of divine will, the strength that stands within you when all else falls away. The Divine Father is the force that says, you are capable. He is the calm command in your heart that guides you toward truth even when the path is uncertain. He is the silent witness who sees beyond excuses, beyond fear, beyond the fragile self-image, and reminds you of the soul you truly are. Where the Divine Mother heals and holds, the Divine Father strengthens and directs. He builds within you the structure to contain the love that she pours. Without him, compassion spills into confusion. With him, love becomes law, wisdom, action. Many of us, wounded by the image of our human fathers, have hidden from this presence, mistaking divine authority for human control, divine will for punishment. But the true Father never dominates, he liberates, he never shames, he awakens. When you open yourself to his current, you will not feel smaller, you will feel steadier, more aligned, more you than ever before. Let us in this very moment call upon his energy, subtle yet immense, as near as your next breath. Sit upright, beloved. Feel your spine lengthen, as though an invisible thread is drawing you gently toward the heavens. The spine is the altar of your soul. Upon it burns the lamp of divine will. Now close your eyes, place your awareness at the heart, then gently lift it upward to the point between your eyebrows, the spiritual eye, the seat of higher vision. Feel a soft glow there, like the rising sun behind closed lids. Now breathe, slowly, intentionally. Inhale courage, exhale fear. Inhale strength, exhale doubt. Inhale clarity, exhale confusion. With each breath, the current strengthens. You are not summoning something foreign, you are remembering something eternal. Feel a warmth gather along your spine, a subtle electricity rising, aligning each center of energy like pearls on a golden thread. This is the Divine Father's current, steady, luminous, calm. In your mind, whisper softly, beloved Divine Father, anchor me in truth, strengthen me in love, guide me in right action. Let the words echo in silence. Listen inwardly. Perhaps you feel a calm assurance settle in your chest, a quiet voice that says, I am here. Perhaps you feel nothing but stillness, that too is his presence. Vast and unshakable, the mountain behind the mist. Stay here for a few breaths longer. Feel your feet on the ground, the root of his steadiness. Feel your heart, his compassion in motion. Feel your mind clearing, like sky after rain. This communion is not imagination, it is remembrance. The Divine Father is not apart from you. He lives in every act of courage, every honest word, every decision made in alignment with love. When you speak truth, even when your voice trembles, that is his breath moving through you. When you stand firm in integrity, refusing to shrink or lash out, that is his spine within yours. When you walk forward though you do not yet see the path, that is his hand at your back, guiding you through faith. The more you return to this still point, the upright spine, the steady breath, the luminous eye, the more his qualities awaken within you. You will notice it in your choices: more clarity, less confusion; more strength, less striving; more peace, less proving. You will begin to sense that the true Father was never out there. He was always in here, waiting patiently behind the noise, ready to lead you home to yourself. Stay with this awareness, beloved, for a few quiet moments. Breathe once more. Inhale courage. Exhale fear. Let the Divine Father's light expand through every cell, a golden river of will and wisdom flowing from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. When you rise from this communion, do so gently, as one who carries the strength of heaven within. Every step you take, every word you speak, will bear the imprint of his steady hand. Beloved soul, the light of realization is not meant to remain only in the mind. It must be lived, breathed, practiced, until it becomes the rhythm of your days. Healing the Father wound and awakening the Divine Father within you is not a single revelation, but a gentle rewiring, a daily rewriting of your soul's script. Each sunrise and sunset brings another opportunity to anchor these truths into the fabric of your life. Let us now walk through 5 sacred practices, simple, human, yet profoundly divine, that will weave strength, trust, and protection into every corner of your being. These are not rituals of perfection. They are daily acts of remembrance, ways to remind your heart that you are no longer a child abandoned, but a soul upheld by eternal care. Each morning, before you reach for your phone, before the world's noise rushes in, sit for a moment in stillness. Feel the weight of your body, the steady pulse in your chest, the quiet breath that proves life is still choosing you. Place your hand on your heart and speak these words softly, as a decree, as a promise to your inner child and your higher self. I am safe. I am seen. I walk under divine protection. The strength of the Father flows through me. I am guided in every step, and all I need comes in perfect time. Feel how your body responds as though something ancient exhales within you. This is not wishful thinking. This is identity remembered. Each time you speak this decree, you remind the child within, you are no longer alone. The Father walks with you now. As your day begins, bring consciousness to your boundaries. Many of us learn from our fathers, either rigidity or collapse, walls too high or doors too wide. But divine authority is balance, firm, clear, compassionate. So before you step into the noise of the world, whisper 2 lines you will carry with you, your boundary rehearsal. They can be simple. My peace matters. I can love you and still say no. Let these words live on your tongue. Boundaries are not walls. They are doorways of truth. They teach the world how to treat the sacred space that is you. As the day unfolds, when you turn to your work, your tasks, your livelihood, pause for a moment of stewardship. Many carry the wound of provision, the silent fear that they must strive endlessly to earn safety. But provision, in the eyes of spirit, is not survival. It is service. So before you begin, lift your hands over your tools, your keyboard, your plans, your wallet, and bless them. Through this work may good flow to all. Father, bless my efforts that they serve your design. Let this income be guided by wisdom and generosity. I am not a beggar in your universe. I am a steward of abundance. As you speak, feel the shift from grasping to gratitude, from fear to faith. You are not alone in the field. You labor with divine partnership. Later, when the day brings challenge, and it will practice the sacred art of truth, the Divine Father is not the silence of avoidance, nor the thunder of cruelty. He is the steady voice of honesty, wrapped in kindness. Once each day, find 1 moment to speak a difficult truth gently. It might be a truth to another, that hurt me, and I want to understand why. Or perhaps a truth to yourself. I am exhausted, and I need rest. These words are bridges, not blades. Each time you speak them, your inner Father grows stronger, your voice clearer, your heart freer. And when night falls and the noise softens into silence, take 2 minutes to repair the bond that still hums between your soul and your earthly Father. This practice is not about reopening old wounds. It is about building a golden bridge where love can travel freely, no longer hindered by pain. Sit quietly, close your eyes. See yourself standing on one side of a calm river, your Father, young, old, living, departed, standing on the other. Between you stretches a bridge of golden light. With each breath, watch it grow brighter, stronger, shimmering with forgiveness and understanding. Step forward onto the bridge. Feel the light beneath your feet, the warmth around your heart. You do not need to speak aloud. The soul understands silence. Simply allow the current of love, pure, impersonal, divine, to flow across the bridge, cleansing old memories, dissolving resentment, carrying blessings back and forth like waves. Whisper softly, we are both learning, we are both free. I walk now with the Divine Father, and through me his light blesses you. Then step back gently, watching the bridge remain, not as a tether, but as a radiant connection of peace. Open your eyes, feel how the air in your room has shifted, lighter, wider, full of quiet grace. These 5 practices are not obligations. They are invitations. Which one, small and humble, is a door into mastery. As you repeat them, day after day, they become habits of the soul, replacing fear with faith, confusion with clarity, longing with love. Soon you will no longer need to remind yourself, I am safe, I am guided, I am loved. You will feel it in your bones, in your breath, in the stillness behind your eyes, for the Divine Father will no longer be a concept you visit in meditation. He will be the ground you walk upon, the voice that rises within, and the strength that carries you through every dawn and dusk. Beloved soul, sometimes healing requires a voice that the world will never hear. There are words too sacred, too raw, too luminous for conversation. Words that belong not to the realm of response, but to the realm of release. This is where the ritual of the unsent letter becomes a bridge between your heart and the unseen. Tonight, or whenever your spirit feels ready, light a candle and prepare 2 pages, one for the Father of flesh and one for the Father of spirit. This is not a task to rush, it is a pilgrimage in ink. Let the light flicker across the paper, reminding you that even the smallest flame dispels the deepest darkness. First, turn to your earthly Father, the man whose presence or absence shaped the architecture of your heart. This letter is not an argument. It is an unburdening. It is your soul placing its truths gently upon the altar of understanding. Begin with a simple invocation. Father, these are the words I never spoke aloud. Then let them pour. Speak the gratitude you may have withheld, the admiration you felt but feared to express. Name the pain you carried in silence, the questions that never found their voice, the moments that carved both tenderness and ache into your being. Write without censorship, without performance, without the need to justify or accuse. Let the pen trace honesty, not eloquence. If anger arises, let it come, but do not let it harden. Let it move like a storm across your page and fade into the clearing. If grief appears, let the tears blur the ink. They are not mistakes, they are baptisms. And when the letter feels complete, when your body sighs and your spirit whispers enough, pause, place your hand upon the words and whisper, I release you, I forgive what I understand, and I surrender what I do not. May peace flow between us, across all lifetimes, in all directions of time. You may choose to burn this letter, watching as smoke carries your confession heavenward, leaving only ash as witness. Or you may fold it and keep it in a sacred box, a private scripture of your soul's awakening. Either way, know this, the act of writing has already shifted the vibration. The truth has been spoken into the ethers, and the law of grace has begun its quiet work. Now turn to the second page. This is not a letter of release, it is a letter of remembrance. Address it to the Divine Father, the infinite source of strength and clarity, the silent architect of your destiny. Begin with reverence. Beloved Father of light, I return to you. In this letter, speak your longing, your surrender, your trust. Confess where you have leaned on human strength alone, and ask to be carried now by the greater will. Write your gratitude for the unseen hands that guided you through storms, for the lessons woven into every loss. Ask for courage to walk in truth, for wisdom to act in alignment, for the calm authority that flows from divine companionship. You might write, teach me to move with the dignity of your presence. Teach me to build not from fear, but from faith. Let your voice echo through mine, that I may speak only what is true and kind. When your words come to rest, hold the page against your heart. Feel the warmth of your body merging with the light of the unseen. This letter is a covenant. You may place it upon your altar, under a stone or crystal, as a sacred reminder of your reunion with the Source. Or you may tuck it into a journal, knowing that each time you read it, you reawaken the vow, I walk with the Father. To close the ritual, extinguish the candle with gratitude, not as an ending, but as a sealing. Speak softly. What is written in love is already answered. What is offered in truth is already blessed. My words return to me as wisdom. My release returns as peace. Then sit in silence for a few breaths. Feel the spaciousness within you, the quiet that follows confession, the calm that arrives when the inner storm has passed. You have spoken what was buried. You have offered what was hidden. The weight has lifted. The knot has loosened. And a new chapter waits, one written not in longing, but in liberation. Remember, beloved, the letters you never send still reach their destination. In the invisible realms, sincerity is the only postage, and every word of truth finds its way home. Beloved soul, perhaps your father has already crossed the threshold. Or maybe he is still on this earth but locked behind walls of silence, pride, or distance. Either way, the heart still longs for completion, for a final word, a meeting of eyes, an understanding that may never arrive in the physical. But hear this, the soul's conversation is not limited by flesh, by miles, or by time. Death cannot mute love. Distance cannot erase destiny. The thread that binds you to your father is woven of subtler substance, of energy, of karma, of divine law, and it stretches beyond worlds. When the physical voice falls silent, the astral one awakens. What cannot be spoken aloud may still be felt, known, and healed in the invisible. If your father is gone, set aside one quiet evening to invite his soul into sacred communion. Light a candle, dim the lights, and sit with your spine straight. Not in grief, but in reverence. Whisper softly into the space around you. Father, if it is your soul's wish, I welcome you now in light. I hold no blame, no demand, only the desire for understanding and peace. Close your eyes and feel the air shift, subtle, gentle, like the hush before dawn. You may not see him, but you may feel warmth, a brush of wind, a sudden memory, or even a faint smile rising from within. These are not fantasies, they are signs of contact. The soul does not travel through language, it travels through vibration. Meet him there in the silence between your breaths. If tears come, let them. They are the soul's handwriting, spelling forgiveness across the pages of the unseen. If anger rises, let it be seen, but not to wound, only to empty. Speak aloud if you wish. Say what remained unsaid. Thank him for what he gave. Name what he could not. Bless him with release. You were the father I needed to become who I am. I forgive your human form. I honor your soul's role. I return us both to peace. When the candle flickers, imagine a golden bridge of light forming between your heart and his. On that bridge, no words are needed, only light flowing freely, back and forth until the current evens and the ache softens. If your father is still alive but unreachable, estranged, hardened, lost in his own storms, know that healing does not require his participation. The laws of spirit are not bound by consent of the ego. You may meet him in the same way, inwardly, in prayer, in the sanctuary of your soul. Speak to his higher self, not the wounded man, and say, I see the divine in you, even if you do not see it yet. I release the need for you to change, and I choose peace whether you walk beside me or not. Then trust that the message reaches him in ways unseen. It may arrive as a dream that stirs his heart, a sign that softens his mind, or a quiet shift in the energy between you. Spirit communicates in symbols, a song playing at the right moment, a memory resurfacing, a stranger's kindness echoing his words. Pay attention. The universe loves to answer subtle prayers with subtle signs. If you struggle to feel connection, try the chair dialogue method. Place two chairs facing each other. Sit in one as yourself and speak freely. All the words you never said, all the feelings you hid, then switch seats. Close your eyes. Imagine stepping into his spirit, into his limited understanding, his own childhood wounds, his silent struggles. Speak back to yourself from that space. Hade, you might be surprised by what rises, not excuses, but glimpses of why he was the way he was. This is empathy in practice, compassion wearing the face of truth. When the dialogue feels complete, return to your seat, place your hand over your heart, and say, the circle is closed. The lesson is learned. The love remains. Then breathe, deeply, slowly, reverently, as though inhaling courage and exhaling centuries of expectation. Feel how light the chest becomes when you no longer wait for an apology that may never come, when you no longer demand a reunion that time cannot grant. For healing is not dependent on his presence. It is dependent on your willingness to see beyond the mask, to meet soul with soul, to choose peace over proof. Your father may not have known how to show love in human form, but his spirit, like yours, is forever tethered to the source. And in that divine realm, all misunderstanding is already forgiven, all separation already healed. So tonight, beloved, before you sleep, whisper into the quiet, Father, wherever you are, in body or beyond, I bless you. I free you. I love you in the language of spirit. And then rest. Watch how dreams may come, a glimpse of him younger, softer, smiling in light. Or perhaps you'll awaken with a calm you cannot explain. That too is grace. The sign that what was once tangled has begun to unwind, that what was fractured is being made whole again. Beloved soul, healing your relationship with your Father, whether through tears, silence, or forgiveness, is only half the journey. The other half unfolds within you. For every wound you've carried from the masculine, a reflection of that same energy lives inside your own heart. And to be whole, you must not only reconcile with the Father who raised you, but also with the Father who lives within you. This is what we call the healing of the inner masculine, the rebirth of the Divine Father current inside your being. You see, the masculine is not merely a role or a gender. It is an energy, a principle, a sacred rhythm. It is the strength that holds space for growth. It is the steadiness that stands tall when storms arrive. It is the hand that acts when others freeze. And within every soul, whether in a male or female body, this divine masculine energy beats quietly, waiting to be reclaimed. For many, however, the image of the masculine has been distorted, painted in shades of control, dominance, pride, or suppression. If your father was distant, you may have learned to distrust power. If he was harsh, you may have feared strength. If he was absent, you may have doubted your worthiness to be protected. So now the healing is this: to reclaim the truth of the masculine beyond the wounds of men. To do so, there are three traits you must begin to cultivate. Three pillars upon which the healed masculine stands. The first is steadiness. In a world that shifts with every headline, every whisper, every mood, steadiness is the rarest and most precious virtue. It is the ability to stand firm without becoming rigid, to hold calm when others tremble, to remain grounded in faith, even when the path is unclear. The healed masculine does not run from discomfort. It listens. It breathes. It says, I am here, not only to others, but to the frightened parts within. When you are steady, you become a sanctuary for your own soul, for those you love, for every dream yet to come. So when doubt stirs, practice this small act. Pause, place your hand on your chest and whisper, I do not retreat, I remain. Feel how your body responds, how peace returns when you choose stillness over reaction. The second trait is honorable strength. Strength that is not rooted in ego or aggression, but in alignment. True strength is not loud. It does not need to prove itself. It is the quiet courage to act with integrity, even when unseen, the humility to admit when you're wrong, and the compassion to protect without controlling. Honorable strength does not dominate, it uplifts. It does not crush, it carries. To embody it, begin with your choices. Let your word become law. Follow through on what you promise, not out of pride, but out of reverence for your own voice. The healed masculine is trustworthy because it is consistent. It knows that strength is not measured by muscle, but by the ability to keep faith when it would be easier to flee. The third trait is benevolent leadership. Every soul is called to lead, not always in crowds, but at least in the temple of one's own life. To lead is to take responsibility for your energy, your reactions, your creations. Benevolent leadership begins with self-governance, with choosing direction over drift, purpose over passivity. This leadership is generous, not tyrannical. It does not command through fear, but inspires through example. It listens deeply, acts justly, and serves something greater than itself. Whether you guide a family, a team, or simply your own thoughts, let each action carry this silent vow. May my choices create safety for others to rise. Now, beloved, healing the masculine is not just about insight, it is about action. The masculine learns through doing. It strengthens not by reflection alone, but by decisive movement. And so here is your micro habit, a daily practice to anchor your new rhythm. The act first, feel after ritual. Each day, choose one small task you've delayed. A message left unsent, a form unfilled, a promise postponed. Give yourself 60 seconds. Breathe once, then act. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't analyze, don't spiral, just do. Send the message. Wash the dish. Speak the truth. Begin the step. This is how the masculine heals, by proving to the soul that it can be trusted to move. Each completed action becomes a whisper to your inner child, you are safe. I will act. You no longer have to carry everything alone. Over time, this discipline becomes devotion. You will notice that confidence grows not from external validation, but from the quiet pride of one who keeps his own word. You will see that courage is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to let fear dictate your rhythm. And most beautifully, you will begin to sense your inner father rising, the one who holds you steady, who speaks truth without cruelty, who protects not by controlling, but by believing. So each morning, as the sun stretches across your window, whisper this vow to yourself: today I walk in steadiness. Today I act with honorable strength. Today I lead with benevolence. I am no longer the child waiting to be held. I am the father my soul has been waiting for. And with that, rise. For in choosing to live this truth, you do not only heal the memory of your earthly father, you become the living embodiment of the divine Father within. Beloved soul, you have walked far. You have entered the inner chambers of memory, faced the echoes of your Father's voice, reclaimed the strength you once feared, and found within you the steady pulse of divine protection. Now comes the sacred moment when healing becomes legacy, when your transformation is not only for yourself but for every soul connected to your name. This is the moment of lineage activation, where you stand as the bridge between what has been and what shall be. You are the doorway through which all that was wounded can be healed, and all that is whole can be multiplied. You, beloved, are the lineage breaker. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe deeply. Feel your feet against the ground, solid, steady, sacred. Imagine yourself standing in a great doorway made of light. Behind you stretch the generations that came before, fathers and grandfathers, mothers and grandmothers, faces known and unknown, stories whispered and forgotten. Some carry joy, some carry pain, some never found the freedom you now touch. Before you, beyond the threshold, see the faces of those yet to come, your children, their children, every future soul, who will inherit the vibration you choose today. You are the hinge between worlds. You are the living prayer that connects past to future. Now lift your chin and whisper softly. It ends with me. The anger ends with me. The silence ends with me. The fear ends with me. The absence ends with me. I send only love forward. I send only light behind. Feel the words travel through your body, like thunder made of peace. The old energies tremble, not in resistance, but in release. The unseen ancestors gather around you, not to burden, but to bless. For every soul in your bloodline who could not speak, you now give voice. For every heart that broke under silence, you now sing. For every father who carried shame too heavy to name, you now whisper grace. In this doorway of light, raise your right hand, palm open, facing behind you. Say silently or aloud, to all who came before me, I honor you. I release your pain. I forgive your choices. I thank you for my life. You did enough. You may rest. Now turn your hand forward, palm open to the horizon. To all who will come after me, I bless you. You will not carry what I have carried. You will inherit love, peace, faith, and freedom. I send you courage, clarity, and compassion. Walk in light, walk in truth, walk in grace. As you breathe, imagine waves of golden light flowing behind you, washing over the past and moving forward through the doorway, blessing the future. You are the conductor of that current, the living link between what was and what will be. Stay here for a moment in stillness. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. The burdens that were never yours dissolve like smoke in sunlight. You are not bound by their choices, nor are you condemned to repeat them. You stand in mastery, not memory. You are the bridge, not the chain. Now whisper this final vow. The cycle is complete. I send back what is not mine. I carry forward only love. I stand as light between worlds. Through me, the lineage is healed. Feel the light in your chest expand, reaching back through centuries, forward through lifetimes. Every ancestor who longed for healing feels your touch. Every descendant who needed hope receives your blessing. This is how divine law works, through consciousness, through choice, through one awakened soul who dares to end the story and begin a new one. Beloved, never doubt the power of your stance. The universe bows to the one who forgives in both directions. You are not merely healing your relationship with your father, you are rewriting the masculine story in your entire line. And as you step through that doorway, know this truth: the past is now peace, the future is now freedom, and you, radiant soul, are the living proof that love is stronger than legacy. Beloved soul, now that your heart has softened and your spirit stands awake, let us enter the sanctuary of true healing, not the healing of intellect or memory, but of vibration, where soul meets soul in the light of understanding, dissolves every shadow. Find a quiet space within yourself. Let your spine rise tall, like the trunk of a tree rooted in stillness. Place one hand upon your heart and one upon your belly. Feel the rhythm beneath your palm, a steady pulse that has carried you since the beginning. Breathe deeply. Inhale through your nose, hold gently, exhale slowly through your mouth. Again inhale peace, hold grace, exhale release. With every breath, let your body settle, your thoughts loosen, and your heart open. Now close your eyes and imagine a golden path stretching before you. It winds through soft mist, illuminated by a light that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Walk this path slowly. Each step carries you beyond time, beyond story, beyond form. Here you are not the child of circumstance, you are the child of eternity. Ahead, in a field of gentle radiance, you see a figure standing, familiar yet changed. This is not the father of flesh and history, this is the soul of your father, clothed in light. His face may appear young or old, tender or solemn, yet his essence feels calm, freed from the burdens of the earthly mind. Pause a moment. Let yourself see him not through the eyes of the wounded child, but through the eyes of the awakened soul. Breathe. If words rise in your chest, let them come. You may speak aloud or in silence. Whisper the truth that has long waited at the edge of your heart. Father, I see you now. I see beyond the words, beyond the silences. I see your struggle, your effort, your fear, your love, hidden beneath the weight you carried. You are learning too, as I have learned. You were shaped by those before you, just as I was shaped by you, and today I release the need for you to be what you could not. I free you from the story of my pain. As you speak, notice how his eyes soften, how the light around him brightens. In this realm there is no defense, no guilt, only truth, finally spoken. Now inhale gently and count to 4. 1. I breathe in forgiveness. 2. I breathe in understanding. 3. I breathe in compassion. 4. I breathe in peace. Hold the breath, feeling these vibrations settling into your heart. Now exhale slowly, counting again. 1. I release anger. 2. I release judgment. 3. I release sorrow. 4. I release fear. Continue this rhythm, 6 full cycles. Inhale love, exhale pain. With every wave of breath, the air between you and your father grows clearer, brighter, more tender. Now imagine a radiant flame appearing between you, not of heat, but of divine light, the eternal fire of truth. It is soft gold, pure white, and within it, threads of silver that shimmer like starlight. This flame is the altar of your bond, the space where karma is transformed into grace. Reach gently toward it and place your connection. Every memory, every unspoken word, every ache, into the flame. Watch as it is lifted upward, transmuted into light. Nothing is lost, beloved, only purified, only returned to its source. You may whisper this prayer if it feels right. Divine Father, I place this bond in your hands. I release all cords of pain and expectation. Transform our story into wisdom, our wounds into blessings, our distance into light. Let only love remain. See the flame glow brighter, rising higher, carrying your words into the vastness above. Your Father's soul lifts his gaze, nodding gently, as if to say, I understand now, we are free. Breathe again, slowly, deeply. Feel a warmth in your chest, expanding outward, wrapping both of you in a cocoon of gold. This is the presence of the Divine Father, strong, steady, eternal. His voice moves through the silence like thunder, wrapped in velvet. My child, nothing was wasted. All has served your awakening. You are safe. You are loved. You are guided. Walk now in strength and carry my light within you. As you listen, the scene begins to fade. The golden field dissolves into gentle mist, the figure of your father stepping back into the light, his face peaceful, free. Whisper a final blessing. Go in love, be at peace. I honor your path as I walk my own. Now draw the golden light back into your heart. See it settling there, a flame that will never go out. This is the new bond, not of pain, but of peace. Not of longing, but of understanding. Place your hands together in prayer position and take 3 final breaths. First breath, I am healed. Second breath, he is free. Third breath, love is eternal. When you are ready, gently open your eyes. Carry this peace with you, beloved. Let the memory of this vision guide you when old feelings arise. You do not need to reopen the wound. You have placed it in the light. Each breath you take from now on is a reminder. You are the continuation of every prayer unspoken, the answer to every longing unfulfilled. Walk forward not as the child waiting to be loved, but as the soul who now is loved. Beloved soul, place your hand upon your heart. Feel that steady rhythm, the drumbeat of divine strength within you. May the Divine Father walk beside you now, guiding every step with clarity, courage, and right action. May His protection surround you like golden light, and may every path before you open in truth, provision, and peace. Breathe deeply. Inhale strength, exhale doubt, for you are held, you are guided, you are never alone. If this message has touched your heart, whisper it into the universe by typing in the comments, "I walk with Divine Father." And if you're ready to continue this journey of healing and awakening, beloved, subscribe, like, and walk with us again in the next sacred teaching.